And we are going to be talking about fucking Disney. That's what we are. We went to,
We're full. And then they were like, "You want to
see,
Chat
Lola,
right
as soon
now.
as,
So yeah, man. Today,
we are going to be talking about mega content.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, but who the hell cares about wildlife anyway?
right.
Okay, that was different. I'm obviously not used to the.
So good.
Clearly, I'm not used to the way that EVMux works. I'm gonna have to figure this out. But yeah. With that being said, what is happening, everybody? Come on in, have a seat, and get comfortable. You are tuned in to the Nerd Archive podcast, the show about all things nerdy. Hang on, wait a minute. Something's different here. We seem to be missing something. I can't place my finger on it.
Lady Gaga?"
Oh, that's right.
Someone.
Yeah, somebody is missing. This week, Lewis is missing because of a prior engagement or whatever it is he happens to be doing at the moment, but it is all good. The show must go on. This week, we have myself, Justin, alongside Yadi and Lola. And the topic of this week's episode is part 4 of Star Wars Ahsoka, titled Fallen Jedi. So let's open it up. What did y'all think of the episode overall?
Lola, go for it.
It was good. It was good, and then I got really disappointed because of Sabine's actions. I feel like she's been misguided before, but now she's just acting like a full dummy. And that ending, wow, it was beautiful. I cried. I may cry again. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, viewers, be prepared for that to happen once we recount all the events of the previous episode, which just aired. We actually just finished watching it, so it is still fresh in the mind. Yadi, what about you?
Man, well, there's so many things that happen in the episode, but at
Yes.
least like we got a little, I guess, an answer to speculations that we had. Like, what's this guy named Merrok?
Merrok, yeah.
What the heck was that?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around what the hell happened with that. Like, I expected him to last a lot longer in the series than he did.
Yeah.
But when I wrote my notes down, I put that Ahsoka killed Merrok.
Right.
I mean, I'm not sure. I don't want to go into something too far fetched, but I have a feeling like it seemed like, okay, is he like some kind of specter given a shell, like a ghost or something, like given a physical
Right.
shell to inhabit, or was he a droid of some sort, or who knows?
He
Yeah,
may
like
be you guys know what a golem is? And not necessarily.
not that
Not
kind.
that Gollum. Not that
No, not
Gollum.
that golem. It's not necessarily mythology, but something along those lines. Basically, he's made out of clay, I think, and they use a spell to bring it to life and then do whatever the owner's bidding is. I think
Right.
he's a
Okay.
version of that for the Night Sisters, which would make sense because of Marin, I think is
Yeah.
her name.
Right.
So I think he's a version of her magic.
Right. That's what I was thinking, that it will come back eventually.
Well, I mean, considering Morgan is a descendant of the Night Sisters and she uses their magic
Morgan.
as well to an extent. Well, I mean, you mentioned Marin, and obviously, that comes from Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we've seen that magic before. So there is, and obviously with Marin being a descendant of that, there is a connection there. So that's actually a really good point. And like Yadi was saying, he could very
Come
well
back.
come back
Yeah.
if that is the case.
Yeah, when I saw that gas escape, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's more likely, one of those I'll bring back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it brings more it brings more of that to the surface now because the gas was green,
Mhm.
and every bit of magic that we've seen used by the Night Sisters has been green.
Yeah.
So, between Marin, Mother Talzin, and now Morgan, yeah,
Well,
that I'm
also Asajj Ventress, and there's a couple of episodes in the Clone Wars where they show the Night Sisters magic, and it also does the same thing.
well, yeah, that's kind of what I was referring to, and I forgot about Ventress. So yeah, no, I think that is the most likely scenario we're going to see. We may see Merrok come back in some form or another before the end of that. So, but I think that kind of ends that speculation on who Merrok actually is and
Right.
all that. So the question still remains: who is it that Sam Witwer is voicing in that? Because there are a lot of people are still wondering, what's going on with that. But we'll see. But then again, he's voiced a lot of other characters in a lot of other different Star Wars projects over the course of the years since he got brought in for Force Unleashed and then Clone Wars.
Yes.
So he's voiced I think he's voiced some troopers or some things, and then who was it? He voiced some droid or authority figure that arrested Cassian Andor in the Andor series. I found that out. I
What's
think
his
like a
name
couple
again?
days ago.
What's his name again?
Who's
Oh, Sam.
The Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer?
Witwer.
But yeah, going. Oh yeah, you're looking something up. So while you're
Yeah.
doing that, we can go back to. Yeah, they're trying to. It starts with Sabine and Huyang trying to restore the communication since it's been jammed since they got into the system, and then of course they're trying to fix everything else because their ship was attacked while they were coming down to the planet Cetos.
Zito.
Oh yeah, and then we come to Ahsoka and Sabine arguing about whether or not to destroy to do what's right in the face of certain disaster and destroying the map, even though it means more than likely never seeing Ezra ever again. And it's like you can see that Sabine is clearly having doubts because of her attachment uh, to Ezra,
Right.
which, as we see later on in the episode, uh, fuck is his name?
No,
Balin.
Balin.
Yeah, Balin takes advantage of that towards the end of it.
Yeah, I
And
think
then,
that in her head, she might have been thinking like, "Oh shit, I lost Ahsoka," because she can't feel much right now from the Force and whatnot. I don't think that she, would think that she's alive. And then she's like giving up, basically, like, "Well, let's do what this guy is saying because it sounds good to her."
true enough. I mean, and that's the thing, though. It's like she's like in that early point in her training, and it's like she doesn't appear to have a strong connection to the Force. Like she
No.
tries to use it and can't move anything, and then her rematch with Shin, where she goes and like
That was
literally
funny.
nothing, like all it looked like nothing happened, and
You
it was
have
just
no
like,
power.
yeah, and just I,
And then the Mandalorian comes out.
yeah, true enough, but apparently not soon enough because
No.
she managed to use a distraction in order to escape.
I have a question for you guys. Do we think seeing how Ahsoka has acted in the past with people that have attachment issues for lack of a better term. Do we think she's going to continue Sabine's training? Being that one, she didn't destroy the orb, and two, she joined the opposing team just because she wanted to save Ezra because we don't know if he's alive yet.
I think that because she already started, that she might. I mean, she more likely will continue it. Um,
Mm,
I think that what we saw with Grogu was obviously like she he had more power, and because of being powerful, she was afraid of that becoming like him going to the dark side and whatnot.
right.
Um, versus like I mean, I think that she sees it as a challenge to train Sabine,
Okay.
but I don't know Ahsoka. So
Well, from what I've seen thus far, I mean, obviously, this decision on Sabine's part to do what she did was an obvious a lapse in judgment.
Mhm.
So I see it as she got tricked based on her attachment to Ezra and wanting to see him again, and so she couldn't bring herself to destroy it and wound up just giving it to him, obviously, for the hope of seeing him one more time. And with as far as Ahsoka goes, like there's still, from what I see, some resistance on her part to really throw herself into training Sabine based on what's happened from her past and seeing what Anakin had become, over the course of those years. And also, which also is why she wouldn't train Grogu.
right,
Mm.
She didn't want to take that risk.
but maybe
So,
maybe she sees like because she kind of walked out before
mm,
that walking away now it's not a good idea. Like she could do better.
My
I
eyes
hope.
are watering again.
Oh.
I think it seemed like it was hard for her to walk away from Sabine at that point. Whatever happened between when Rebels ended and when this show began, and I think it was just as hard, if not more difficult, for her to decide, to finally make that decision to take on Ahsoka, or to take on Sabine as an apprentice once again, because that doubt, that apprehension, is still lingering in her mind. Like, this is still a possibility, and especially when you consider who Sabine is, her Mandalorian heritage, and that. So she does get aggressive, like really, really aggressive, and she's stubborn as hell at times. And that honestly is, I think, is going to work a lot further against her in that respect.
Yeah, if she doesn't change her mind, like hopefully after this moment, um, that she can see, her actions are not taking her in a good path.
No.
Um, and she's thinking now that she lost all her people.
Mhm.
'Cause she saw the ships and whatnot on the way
Mm.
when they were on the hyperdrive thing. The hyper what's the name of that ship? Like the ring ship?
It's
It's a hyper
it
It's
yeah,
a
go for it.
hyperspace ring, but I forget, it's something's Eye of something. I forget what the name is.
But yeah, like I'm bad with names. But
So am I, apparently.
but I hopefully, she'll learn from this.
Well, I mean, I think she can. It's not impossible, because there have been instances before of Mandalorian becoming Jedi. Case in point,
Right.
the first, and that we know of so far, only Mandalorian Jedi, which was Tar Vizsla. So it's not impossible and not beyond the realm of possibility that she can overcome those difficulties
Yeah,
and become who she would see herself as down the road.
right.
It's called the Eye of Sion.
Gotcha. Okay. We
Yeah.
also found out that Hu Yang can actually fight.
Yes.
He didn't fare too well in that altercation with just one of those guys.
Hey, he tried his best.
Yeah,
He almost got him. He almost got him.
he got a
Yeah.
few good licks in.
I mean, he practices with Jedi's, so I think that he should know something.
Yeah.
True enough, but I mean, think about it though. He's more of a training
Right.
implement than anything else. So I think he really wasn't technically designed for real world combat.
Right. That's one of the
So
first few good robots that I've seen that can
mm,
actually fight. I don't think that I've seen in the live action stuff. I don't think I've seen a good one that could actually move well and fight.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Everything else
that's
is pretty robotic, but I mean, it makes sense.
oh yeah,
But
it's a rare thing, definitely.
yeah,
So they were able to clean up. All right, so they were able to clean up the mess and end all those mercenaries, and they go off in search of the map and wind up running into Merrok and Shin. And I was not expecting the rematch that quickly.
they're not wasting time though.
It would appear not. It would appear not. And then, of course, we had the pretty much the same face off. Merrok facing off against Ahsoka, Shin facing off against Sabine, and Sabine managed to hold her own pretty well this time around. But I mean, it didn't start off that way because obviously she was trying to. She started off with her blasters, and that didn't get her anywhere. She wound up losing both of those along with her helmet, and was forced to switch to her lightsaber
She
after
got
she
scared quickly.
almost died.
She's like, this is not my fight.
And I think that was around the time when Ahsoka killed Merrok.
Mhm.
Yes. You can see
Yes.
Shin like, what did you do?
Yeah. I'm
I think
wondering though.
she formed that emotional connection to I forget his name. I know you
Merrick?
just said it too. Um just because they seem like they're both like the outcasts. Like
Hmm.
Lord Balin has a spot there, obviously, because he's, helping the witch. But then I don't know any of their names, I just realized this. The lady, the blonde lady, the Padawan, if
Shin.
you will.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shin.
Shin. Yeah. Hey, Chin. Anyways, uh Chin just seems like she's just going along because she doesn't have anything else to do. Like she's, obviously there's two of them
Mhm.
and he's her master, but she doesn't seem to be following the same status quo that they are following. It just seems like she's okay, I'll do it, but it's not necessarily something I want to do.
You can tell
Be-
when she's choking. I mean, this is going a little bit further, but when she's force choking
Yeah.
Sabine,
Like they don't have the same agendas, it seems like.
no.
No,
She's
I
just
think
full of rage.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think she's not. Yeah, she's not quite there yet, and so she's like, there's a parallel, I think, to a point between her and uh what's her name from Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Riva?
Yes, where she's like a bit more impulsive in that sense
Mhm.
when like as soon as she wakes up, she immediately tries to kill Sabine until uh Balon stops her. And
Yeah.
so like she's still it seems like she's still learning in that sense. So I'm wondering, how much, like how far along is she um based on her age in that respect. How much has Balon actually taught her?
Yes.
she seemed to know quite a bit, but it's not obviously the best at fighting because of her impulses.
Mm. Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Even Sabine, that is not the, that good with the lightsaber. She at least did not get stabbed this time.
Right. No, that's what I was saying. She did a lot better than they did in their first fight, and so there was a bit of a stalemate there. But she did wind up losing. She did
Mhm.
wind up losing her lightsaber. But that little trick that she pulled when she fake force pushed
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
And
Shin was
shot.
like, "You have no power," and
Mhm.
then that wrist mounted blaster shoots the lightsaber out of her hand.
I did
So
laugh there. Did you laugh like a little bit? Because like
Yeah.
you didn't see that
I'm like,
coming.
yeah, no, that's pretty good. I got a bit of a chuckle out of that. I'm like, yeah, no, that was well played. That was very, very well played. Um, and then of course she used that little smoke bomb or whatever it was to cause a distraction and escape. So that worked out well. Uh, then as that's all going on, Ahsoka catches up to Balon, and the two of them have a little chat where Anakin is mentioned.
She
Yeah.
got pissed too. As soon as she was like, what did he say exactly? Like, oh, I can't remember, but I know he said something specific that she went like, I didn't come here to discuss my past.
Right. Just like
Oh
fuck
yeah,
Yeah.
off.
yeah. No, it's like
Yeah.
Anakin holds you in high regard, and she was like, "Funny, he never mentioned you."
Yeah.
Which it was an interesting, little, snappy little comeback, which was actually really good.
Snips.
And yeah. Well, and it's like he basically was just like, everybody knew about him. You know, not many had lived to see what he'd become, and just this little back and forth conversation where you could see like she was trying not to show it, but it seemed to have a little bit of an effect on her. And then the fight ensues, and she's able to, after a bit of difficulty, which I'm actually surprised at how skilled Balon is in comparison to Ahsoka at this point. She was able to get the map, but it burned the hell out of her hand.
Mhm.
And so she wound up dropping it.
That's why I was thinking now, like, you think that the map's impression is on her hand now, and that's how she gonna travel?
Maybe.
It's it's a possibility. I'm not sure how much weight that actually holds, but I mean, we'll see. Um, but yeah, no, his like they really demonstrated Balon's strength in this, uh, where he pushed her back to the edge of that cliff, and then Sabine shows up, and because she thought, well, no, Shin shows up, and then immediately her mind goes to, oh shit,
Sabine is dead.
Sabine is dead,
Mhm.
and so she's losing her focus.
And you
And
saw how
then,
strong she is, though,
oh yeah, well,
because
because
she's
she was
like
able, oh yeah, and well, she was
like
still able to take Shin and just throw her while fighting Balon, and just throw her into one of those pillars,
yeah.
knocking her out cold. And then Sabine shows up, and of course, relief, obviously, but that's still like, your focus is still kind of taken away from the enemy in front of you. Because they're still locked in that stalemate. And she picks up the map, and Ahsoka's like, destroy it,
Yeah.
and she can't do it. And then she gets knocked off the cliff.
God knows where she is. I know where she is, though. But
So
I do too.
I'm curious though. As to how she wound up there. Like, because the first time she was there, as we know, it was Ezra that pulled her away from her fight with Vader at the time, and that was in Rebels, I think it was.
Yes.
yeah.
Right, and so I'm wondering
But it begs the question, how is he there? Because he might have pulled her out, same way that Ezra pulled her out. How is he there though? How is he in corporeal form? Is my question.
That's a curiosity there as well. I'm leaning towards multiverse theory,
Ooh, don't
but
even. Justin, don't even.
it's one possibility out of many. But I mean, you got something.
Well, kind of. They did they did start talking about different galaxies.
Yeah, that's
So,
where they were traveling to.
right. So is it possible that he's from a different galaxy? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm upset. I'm happy, but I'm upset.
To be
Yeah,
continued.
To be continued.
this is a head scratcher. This is a head
Yeah.
scratcher, and I'm wondering like how they're going to explain it. So it's got me a fair bit excited for the next, at least the next couple of episodes. I'm like,
Well, like, okay, so there's an episode not during Rebels but during Clone Wars where they're technically plucked out of everything that is the galaxy, and in that space it looks like a holocron, but it's triangle on top and triangle. It's a diamond, I guess.
yeah,
Anyways, but in there they encounter the son, the daughter, and the father. And the father is both good and bad, and the son is all bad and all dark side, and then the daughter is all light side. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with why he's one outside of timelines, and two, why he's in corporeal form. If that has anything to do, if they're connected somehow, because the way that they got there was with Ahsoka.
it's an interesting point, because there is a possibility, like a version of him could have gotten pulled somewhere out of the timeline, so, or a version of him exists there outside of normal time, and
Right.
maybe that's where he resides. And there's a lot we could speculate on as to how this is happening, why this is happening. um
I'm
and
excited.
we could go on for a long time, but
The
yeah,
good thing is that now Lola is caught up.
I
The
am,
last
yeah.
few
woo!
of our episodes, she's been a little bit lost.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not that
But
you
to be
show it,
fair,
but
I got caught up on Monday. No, I didn't. I got caught up on Sunday, and then so I could be ready for Monday and then have some theories and all that stuff. But then we decided to change it until today. And I'm happy that I got caught up because I wasn't excited before, but now I am. Now we're
Oh yeah.
getting into like the in between, and we're getting into like maybe Ezra is alive, and now we're getting like Daddy Anakin.
Oh yeah. No, I'm leaning towards that Ezra is in fact alive, and that they are going to find him at some point, probably towards the end. Well, I mean, maybe, because it makes you wonder though, like how are they going to play this out? When are they gonna introduce Thrawn? How is this going to go? Is he going to make it back to the Prime Galaxy? Or is he, are it's anybody's guess at this point, but I'm leaning towards the fact that Ezra is alive. But how is it going to play out at the end of this series? Is it going to remain that way? Is Thrawn going to survive and create the new empire or whatnot? Because I mean, we know about the First Order and everything that was created with the abysmal sequel trilogy. But I'm wondering though if this is going to be a play to maybe retcon a lot of that and just move on into something different.
I'm leaning towards Thrawn is alive just from what we saw in the trailer for Ahsoka. I think they do show him, but they show him from like the back, so I'm assuming that's Thrawn. And I do think he's alive. I don't think he's gonna make it outside of this season.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we know he is at this point based on, well, actually, no, we don't know for sure.
Mhm.
So you're right in that respect. So I think we're also going to see him, because honestly, I don't think they would have gotten a guy as big as Lars Mikkelsen to play Thrawn if they weren't going to do something big with him in this series.
Yes.
So it's got me really, really curious. So Merrok beats Ahsoka, mainly due to Sabine's inability to destroy the map based on her, unwavering attachment to Ezra. And Merrok uses that to basically trick her into giving him the map. And then at that point, Shin wakes up, tries to kill her, but is stopped. And then they leave with her after destroying the map. Which means at this point, there's no way for anybody to follow behind them
Except
for now.
Ahsoka's hand. It has it printed in it.
Is it? Here's a theory. Is it possible that the reason that Sabine went with them is so that she can give coordinates? Because I feel like she may have known they're definitely going to destroy the map anyways. But if I'm
She might
in
be
the
smart.
ship, if I'm in the ship, I might be able to like send out a signal or try to get communications up from the other side so that they can follow that.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't even think about that until you said something that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So maybe, making the viewer think that she messed up and betrayed them or something like that in order to get closer to the enemy and get the information that she needs, send back, pardon me, to Ahsoka and Hera, and them, who actually had just dropped out of hyperspace to help them out, right before right before they jumped into hyperspace, right in front of that squadron, and wound up destroying 4 of the X-wings, and nearly destroying all of them. Like that was wild.
I thought
You
that
saw
at
that
the
big-
moment we were gonna see the other guy, Seth?
Seth, yeah. I thought he would be in that team. We did see him with the Asian guy at some point in the bar and with Mando in the Mando show. So what's he doing? Where is he? What's he doing? What's more
He was on
important?
that squadron. The older Asian guy with the
Yeah.
Michael T.
He was, but
there.
the he's purple. His name is Seth. He's in the Rebels show.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
That guy. We
I
saw him
thought,
in the
yeah.
Mando show with the Asian guy. So I thought when they
Yeah.
showed the Asian guy that eventually that they would get to Seth
Yeah,
in one
right.
of the X-wings, but he wasn't. So what's he
Ah.
doing? Where is he at?
Yeah,
Is he going to be part of it eventually?
Yeah, that's kind of curious. I'd completely forgotten about that. I'm actually kind of curious as to where he is and what he's doing and why he wasn't a part of this.
Right.
maybe it was
Is
just
he
too
going to come
expensive.
later?
It's
Well,
possible.
maybe. Is he gonna come later now that we have 2 out of the 4 or 5 X-wings, people dead?
I think it's
They're
possible.
definitely dead.
I think it's possible. because it makes you wonder where he was when all of that stuff was going on, because they were still in that sector that they were, working on that down ship. And obviously, I mean, they didn't want anybody to leave, but then of course, Hera was like, I don't care. I'm leaving anyway. They need help. I'm going.
Mhm. Fight
And
me.
yeah, right, pretty much. And little Jason was like, how come I still have to do what I'm told and you don't have to? It's like, well, when when you down the road, when you're a general, you can make those decisions. But for now, strap
Yeah.
yourself in.
Yeah.
Oh man. So after that happens, cut to Ahsoka unconscious and then waking up. Oh my god. Like that final scene when
Hello,
she wakes
Snips.
up, yeah, stands up and you can see her, and then all of a sudden you hear those words, "Hello, Snips." I'm like you can just imagine everybody's reaction to that scene, and hearing those words, and then she turns around and there he is.
In all his glory.
Yes.
Actually,
And
he's looking like he's part of Clone Wars. Like the ensemble, it's like full Clone Wars. Obviously, if we see it looks like the one from Revenge of the Sith, but it's kind of different, including the hair. The hair is 100% Clone Wars.
I'll look at it again because it didn't. Because I know the suit that he had in Clone Wars. It looked like it had like the armor on the shoulders and that. It didn't look like he had that on in that scene.
Please hold.
Yeah,
If I can find a picture of it, I will put it on the Discord.
no worries. Speaking of which, if you want to see some cool shit like that, you can join our Discord where you can talk with everybody and talk with the crew and get in with us on all sorts of crazy, nerdy hijinks.
And whenever we do
Pretty.
game nights that I rarely join, but
You need to start doing that, man.
the weekend, man, it's the weekends.
I understand that.
That's the only bad part, but it's okay. Every now and then.
Yeah, you do sometimes. It's all good. So for those of you who are confused, we also do game nights every Saturday night between members of the crew and the Creators Club, now called Creators United. And then, but we are more than open to having members of the audience join in as well. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and join our Discord. But yeah, no, his last line before that scene ended, like, I didn't expect, I never expected to see you here so soon. And
Yeah,
I'm
you'd
just
be
like,
like, what the
what?
fuck is happening?
Right. So it makes it sound like is this the afterlife? Is she dead? But I don't think she is. There's no way.
No, I
Especially
think it's
considering,
in between.
true enough.
Yeah,
True
as soon as
enough.
I saw those like lines and like
Yeah,
the
the lines.
hallway in the space
Yeah.
thing, I was like, oh, I just watched this not
Yeah.
too long ago.
Yeah, right.
I know what I'm watching now.
Oh yeah, so it's very, very interesting, and I'm wondering because yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that there's no way they're going to kill the title character, especially not when you have 5 more episodes to go.
We'll see.
Oh yeah. Um, something else that I wanted to touch on, because I was watching a video from the YouTube channel Emergency Awesome before we started watching part 4, and I'm wanting to know what you guys think, and also what the audience thinks. So if you have an idea of why they did this, throw it in the comments below, and let us know what you think. When you see the Star Wars logo and they cycle through all of the different faces. And so they put in some of the ones from Ahsoka just to kind of, based on the fact that the show that we're watching, and it shows when it cycles through Merrok's face, it's blue light, and then when they cycle through Sabine's, it's Sith red. So I'm like, usually when they do that, like you can tell, like they always do the bad guy's face that they cycle through in Sith red, and the good guys in Jedi blue. And so I'm wondering, like, why would
What they're
they
trying to tell. They're trying to
mix
tell us
that up? What
something.
are they trying to say?
Well, that's why I
Subliminal
asked
messages.
if we think that Ahsoka will continue Sabine's training, because it seems like when she went to, or when Mando brought Grogu to her
Hmm.
whole thing was that, hey, he's too attached. Obviously, he's got power, he's powerful and all that stuff, but he's too
Right.
attached. That will lead to the dark side, or it might or it might not, but there's a bigger chance of it happening because of the attachment. That's the same attachment, that unhealthy attachment that Sabine has with Ezra. So I'm wondering if Sabine is already, taking the steps to accidentally end up on the dark side, kind of the same way that Anakin did. Of like, hey, I didn't mean to get here, but now I'm fucking here, so now I'm not bad. I'm gonna kill children next. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Well,
mean,
we
It's
can
a slippery slope.
see
That's all I'm saying.
well,
we
true
can
enough.
see
So,
we can see Ahsoka, like she actually worries, like when she thinks that Sabine is dead. You can tell her
Mm-hmm.
face and the sense of relief when she sees
mhm.
her. So she cares about her. Obviously she knows her for years, and I think that's the difference between her meeting Grogu and not wanting to train him because of the attachment versus now that she, even if she doesn't like say it, but she does have some sort of attachment as well. Like she cares about
Yes.
Sabine. So that might be the difference there.
I think so. I'm just wondering though, like, is this leading into, or is this foreshadowing some kind of falling out, like a major falling out between the two, that's going to cause a bigger rift between those two characters before the end of the series than what was implied uh, at the beginning of the series when they discussed, the her walking away from Sabine after, in the time skip between Rebels and Ahsoka. What's is it foreshadowing something that could happen that could turn her into uh, a bad guy? Who thinks that she's doing the right thing to protect the people that she cares about.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Mm-hmm. Anakin Skywalker is a prime example of that.
So real quick, I found the costume that I was referring to that it seems like he's wearing on this episode. But they don't have pictures of him on Google yet. So I'm assuming by tomorrow I'll be able to find a comparison. But it's not necessarily the one with the shoulder pads. He's
Mm.
wearing a costume in season 7 where the bottom part of it looks more like a skirt than it does pants, but he still has pants underneath. I think that's
Mm.
what he's wearing in the in between.
We'll have to take a peek at part 4 again after we get off of this and see. I might
Oh,
take
you
a
know
couple of
it.
well, yeah, for obvious reasons for you. Yeah. No, but
Well,
I
no.
definitely want to
Obviously, yes, but also no. It's like you remember when we were watching the Obi-Wan show and my
Yeah.
brother kept talking about how I kept going back to Qui-Gon. It's like every time I see something that I love in Star Wars, I have to go back and watch it a couple times.
Yeah.
It's I couldn't do it today because we had to film, but I have to go back. I have to go back.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I think I'll take a couple of screenshots and see, and then if like you can find, you found something nice. Well, throw it up. Yeah, throw it up on throw it up on. Well, I mean, you can throw it up on our private chat, or you can throw it up on the Discord general chat so that everybody can see. But yeah, so like I said, you guys, the listeners, the viewers, if you want to see that, go ahead and get on our Discord. The link's going to be down in the description below.
It might take a minute.
All right. So what else do we have that we want to go over?
Oh, wait, possibly not a good idea for me to put this on a Discord as of yet, because I don't know if Louise has watched the episode.
Oh shit! Yeah. Fuck.
I'm so glad I
just turn
didn't
the
do
fuck
anything
off.
yet.
Gotcha.
Fuck off.
All right. Well, throw it on. I was going to say send it to Yadi and I individually, and that we can take a look at it and just compare it that way. But that being said, what anything else that we have that we want to go over as far as this episode's concerned? What we think is going to happen going forward. How this is going to turn out?
I like the what Lola mentioned that Sabine. I think that she actually did she might send the signal back, and maybe we don't see her turning bad. But who knows? It's just hard. Like it's hard to speculate because of
Oh yeah,
how things have gone. It's definitely not what we thought it was gonna go.
true enough.
So
Our
we'll just let
expectations our expectations are here, and what reality holds could be way up here or way down here. Like it's still too early on to know for sure what decisions she's going to make and how this is all going to turn out.
at
you
least
know.
like we see a pattern that the episodes are or the parts are getting better each
Episode
time.
or part
Yes, episode
part of the
Not this
episode.
again.
the part of the episode.
This is going to be, I think this is going to be a thing whenever they do a Star Wars series that has episodes or parts instead of episodes. This is going to wind up being a thing.
Just messing with our heads.
Of
Actually,
course,
in
of
our
course.
description, it does says episode, and then the name of the episode says part.
Oh, I
But it's
gotta,
all good.
I forgot to change that
It's
in
all
the
good.
in the description, but it is what it is. Just adds to the confusion for
Of course, just leave
everybody.
it. Yeah, just leave it like that. It's funny.
Yeah, maybe I should. All right. Are we good, or is there anything else we're wanting to go over?
I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm very excited.
Oh yeah.
I
Might
think
cry
we
again.
gotta- Yeah. Cry for views. Cry for views.
Oh god.
Yeah, well, relax.
Views, not listeners, because they can't see you.
It seemed like I mean, yeah, we were going over a lot of that stuff in the beginning, and when we were, going over, towards the end of the episode, and she seemed like she was starting to get a little misty-eyed there. So, yeah. No, I mean, but that's the thing though. A lot of people, I mean, it's the character. Everybody loves that character. And it's so, I mean, it's insane and it's incredible to see when characters like that everybody enjoys seeing come back.
Yes.
The internet blew the fuck up when Qui-Gon came back at the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And then seeing Anakin, Hayden Christensen, come into the end of that episode. I'm disappointed that it was just those few seconds that he was on screen. Obviously, we're going to have more at the beginning of the next, at the beginning of part 5. I'm waiting to see the conversation between those two at the beginning.
Yes.
And so,
and it's not just that. It's also like Ahsoka is like a fan favorite, it seems like, and the fact that we have Hayden Christensen and Rosario Dawson as Anakin and Ahsoka just together on the same screen, having what could possibly be the same dynamic as they had during the Clone Wars. It's very exciting for me, especially like that whole like brother sister dynamic, and we started off great with like, hello Snips. Tears.
Oh yeah.
Tears.
And it's funny because neither one of those characters, I mean, you talk about how they are fan favorites, and yeah, they are most certainly are fan favorite characters. But like the funny thing is, like, neither one of them started out that way. like when Hayden first showed up as Anakin in episode 2, I mean, there were a lot of people that hated the prequels, and they didn't so much enjoy Hayden's portrayal as Anakin and whatnot. We're not going to get too far into
He
that,
he
but
he
it
says it in an interview, like he was
right.
surprised of
But
Yep.
a lot
how
of
everything
things,
has switched.
yeah, a lot is turned around, and it was the same with Ahsoka. Like when Ahsoka first showed up in the Clone Wars movie before she was in the series, like everybody hated her. But that shifted quickly enough, when her journey through the Clone Wars series, and a lot of the things that changed, I think not just with her character, but as well with her appearance as well. Because some of the earlier versions of her art style, especially coming out of like the Clone Wars movie, really wasn't that good, but it got better as time went on, and so did the character. And so I think that is a big part of what brought a lot of people around. So, but then there are people now that are kind of hating on the direction that her character has taken, especially in this Ahsoka series, and it makes me just kind of like, do they not like realize that so many years have passed since the end of Rebels and the beginning of Ahsoka? Like you can't expect the character not to change and evolve as time goes on.
Yeah, I get to see, so because I saw so many of the episodes where only Ahsoka, like the ones where Ahsoka was in. I watched a
Mm,
lot of them from Clone Wars, Rebels, and I could see quickly how it's she changed, obviously from a teenager to an adult, and
hmm,
you can see that the characteristics of no, the personality definitely changed and evolved like through the years.
yeah.
But I got to see it in just 4 hours.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't take, like, you don't necessarily have to watch the entire series from beginning to end,
No.
from where she started to where she is now, to get an idea of how her character has evolved and progressed over the years. And
Highly
so I think,
recommended though.
no doubt. I mean, because it gives you more context and gives you more information to work with, so that you're not lost and wondering, okay, what the hell's going on? Why is this happening? What is this here? You know? And
Yes.
Yeah, we're watching
so,
the episodes and of the shows that I watched. I got to understand a lot of the characters that were in Mandalorian. Um, because I didn't know those characters had even history or were shown before.
mm,
So it was pretty cool to see them where they're originated, basically.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm also wondering though, how much of that we're going to see, uh, in these next 5 episodes or parts. See, here we
There's
go.
still
Yeah,
5 left. I'm so excited.
It's yeah, because I think they said this series is 9 episodes long. So yeah, we're
Nice.
barely halfway.
so besides Ezra and uh Throne or whatever, Thrawn,
Mm.
uh and Anakin, who do you think we'll see here? Do you think you will see other characters like that we haven't seen in the other live action stuff?
Some people were saying that Kanan Jarrus could make an appearance briefly, even though, Freddie Prinze Jr. was like, has said flat out. I mean, it could have been a swerve, who knows? But he did say that he was
Is
done with the
Disney?
franchise. True enough. I mean, they could find somebody that has a similar look or whatever. There was some speculation that that Merrok was that underneath the Merrok suit was a clone of Kanan Jarrus.
That would have been really sad.
It would
But
have
I
been,
would
yeah.
yeah. I would be excited to see him maybe in a like a flashback maybe. That'd be nice. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I also have this theory that Ezra is gonna be not evil, but not all there.
I'm thinking that's a possibility as well, because we literally have no clue what's happened to him up to this point. And, with him having disappeared alongside Thrawn,
Thrawn,
like
yeah.
who's to say like what's happened to him and the trials and tribulations that he had to go through up until this point.
So 2 theories, either that or he escaped with the Purgle and he's pulling Luke Skywalker in the last trilogy and he's just hiding on an island
Stay away.
somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
And we see
Um,
him drinking from that milk.
yeah. For sure. But so characters that I would like to see, I think Seth would be like really good to have back with the team. I
No
mean, you
doubt.
already have literally everybody else. You have Sabine, you have
Hmm?
you even have Jason. So why wouldn't you have like actually hold that thought, Rex.
Oh,
Captain Rex.
Interesting. Yes, seeing old man Rex for, even for a scene in one episode
Mm-hmm.
would be actually kind of cool.
Yes.
Having Tamara Morrison, show up in that series would be really cool, I think.
Yeah. He'd be the one that I would love to see.
Mm.
I was thinking of like where we saw one of the clones and Kenobi. They show
Yes.
one of the
Yep.
clones for
Yes.
a second.
Falling on hard times. Spare any
Well, yeah,
credits.
you get fired, you lose your home.
Pretty much.
You
And
got to do something.
well, there really wasn't much that he could do. And
Mhm.
it's even worse when you realize that, they have all that growth acceleration. So they don't they age tremendously fast. So they don't last. So, that's what makes it even worse. But, to be able to see like you said, to be able to see Captain Rex, I think would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Live action Captain Rex.
There you go.
That would be amazing.
Hell yeah. Very, very nice. All right.
Mhm.
Anything else we have?
Nope.
I'm good.
Sounds about good. All right. So we are going to go ahead and call it good for one episode. We hope you enjoyed this incredible part or episode or whatever you want to call it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to connect with us on all of our social platforms, the links are down in the description below. Head on over to thenerdarchive.com. There you will find all sorts of cool, nerdy stuff. We have our Discord links, bios on the archive crew, find out a few tidbits about us as well. And we have merch. All of our merch items are created by us. So buy a few things, support the crew, and, yeah, I lost my train of thought there.
One
click all the
thing.
things.
Yeah, you forgot that. Say it again.
Beautiful.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So go ahead and click all the things and join our incredible community. We look forward to seeing you over there. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get the hell out of here for Lola and Yadi. I am Justin. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.